number 20. I want to get it up here. Here we go. Maxim number 20. And this one, I've kind of held off on this one because this was kind of a hard one to explain with any balance. But Maxim number 20 is the gina Tingle, meaning vagina, is a principal moral code to which women subscribe. All other moral considerations pale in comparison. What Royce is saying, he would always call it the gina Tingle or vagina Tingle, where girls get turned on, where they, a guy turns them on sexually, is the primary driver for all moral codes for women. And you can kind of go beyond that because Bunny's really good about explaining this, how like for guys, like sexual excitement, and then let's say like the excitement of racing cars or jumping out of a plane, they're different. But with women, they're a bit more of a mix. They tend to all work together. That's why they like men who are dangerous. They like felons. They like not knowing. They like uncertainty. They like being nervous around men, and it turns them on. So all of this stuff is kind of, there's less barriers between the emotions when girls kind of flip around between emotions. All emotions at some point are positive for women. Like, and Bunny's good about this. Like she's able to, because I say this kind of, guys see it in our view. They go, well, if she's sad, does that make her happy? But there's a satisfaction to all emotions with women, which is why they love to ride the roller coaster and bring you along with them, much to our resistance. But with girls, any emotional involvement, good or bad, is a turn on. And basically the turn on is the principal moral code to which women subscribe. So all other moral considerations pale in comparison. And again, this will override all other considerations. So Maxim number 20 is more advanced, but you just have to realize that women see things differently. Their emotions are involved in every decision, and everything is an emotion. And a lot of this comes down to where you get the I love you, and you always add in the phrase to anything that a woman says right now. Yeah, irritation is positive. Any type of, because then they can come out of it. So it's positive in the sense that it's a emotion. Because again, like we say, for like men, jealousy, we hate jealousy. Jealousy turns women on. You see your girlfriend, hugging on some dude, and you're like, oh, I don't think this is going to work. And she sees some young girl hanging and hugging on you. She's like, oh, I'm going to have to kill her. I'm going to have to fuck him. And then I'm going to have to kill her again. So yes, any emotion can be used as a positive. That's why asshole game works so well. Guys go, oh, it's really mean. And women find it to be exciting. And so therefore it's stimulating. Anything that's exciting and stimulating is sexual. Again, they're not wired like us, but like I was saying, again, just like with the implications of a statement of emotion, like she says, I love you. You need to always add in the phrase mentally, right now. She loves you right now, in this moment. It may not be there in a month. It may not be there in a week, but it's there now. Because like with men, we say something, it means it's done. It's a fact. It's pretty much a permanent state. With women, everything is whimsical. It's here. It's not there. Can't really blame her that it went away. Oh, it was just a phase. It passed through. It was his fault. Again, there's no accountability or responsibility. So, and again, this is why we say they're very much like teenagers their entire life, because you really can't hold them responsible at the end of the day for their actions or their emotions or their decisions. So we would like to, but it just doesn't work that way. And you can even see this in court decisions. Women are let off the hook constantly because they see things differently. They process things differently. It's a different. They're not just a different gender. They're a different species. So you have to recognize that and just know that things that create emotion is a primary driver. It's a principal moral code to which women subscribe. Just like Buddy and I were and probably the best example of this is when women blow their lives up for a loser. Just like we did a court breakdown of a court case where the woman was selling. She was basically a fundamentalist Christian and mom of 4 or 5 and had been married for 10 or 15 years and never deviated, never had any problems with her marriage. And then she's selling an item on Facebook and a convicted felon came to pick it up. Well, they hit it off, and 6 weeks later, she doesn't even have custody of her kids. I mean, she just kind of like whimsically changed her mind. And it's the most severe case, but it gives you an idea of like the 180 that can be taken. That is part of it. Matt asked me, how do you incorporate the psychopathy is a good question of the dark triad that is worth a podcast of its own. And it's something you don't want to flippantly mention the word or flippantly discuss because it can be taken wrong. But there's a place, psychopathy, Machiavellianism, narcissism, they all kind of work together to make men, and these are not the best characteristics, but they tend to be very attractive to women, and they get things done, which is what Matt's asking about. I guess you can't see the question. That would be helpful if I could present that. But you just have to realize that, like, for women, things that turn men off actually turn them on. And a lot of this stuff is not anything that they're going to admit while they're with you or if you ask them directly. And a lot of times they can't. I mean, just like with sex, most girls can't even talk about sex unless they're in the middle of having sex. And then after that, it's like, I never did that. Oh, I didn't do that. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. But Maxim number 20, the Gina Tingle is the principal moral code to which women subscribe. We'll probably revisit this like when we have Bunny in here, because it's always good to hear her walk guys through how women's mind works. All other moral considerations pale in comparison. Just know that they see things differently. They make decisions differently. There's a lot going on there. Next thread, and this is more for